And welcome to the Answers 42 Media Network and Sasquatch Says. I am your host, Dan Wetstein. My co-host will be here shortly. She is actually in the middle of getting back from a call. So for those of you that have been here, she is an EMS person. So she does have to go save toes and lives and all of those things. So she will be here as soon as she gets situated back from her latest call. So I should tell y'all how much Callie loves y'all is that she's getting off a call and then jumping straight onto here with us. So while that being the case, we're going to go ahead and start off here talking about the fact that Jared Bednar has been snubbed from the Coach of the Year award. I really don't get how this team, with how dominant they were all season long, with their stars in and out, multiple stars. It wasn't just like they just lost McKinnon or just lost Landeskog or just lost Byram or Makar, etc. They lost all of those guys several times throughout the year for different lengths of stretches. But yet they were still consistently dominant all season long. And yet here we are with awards season, and the only two awards that the Avalanche have a single finalist for, not a winner, just a simple finalist for, are the NHL's version of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which goes to the guy that did the most in their community. That's Nazem Kadri. A little bit of a shocking one, but it's a wonderful turn of events that we've talked about before to see that man make the U-turn that he did after the playoffs last year. And Jared and Cale Makar for the Norris Trophy. Like, that's it. That's literally it. From a team with a storied history. This is not the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Las Vegas Golden Knights that have only been in the league for a few years and really haven't been able to. I mean, yes, they can call themselves a somewhat storied franchise, a top level franchise because they have won Stanley Cups, but they're still new. Yet these guys are getting all the types of love during award season. Yet one of the more storied franchises, the Avalanche and the Nordiques, can't seem to get the respect they deserve. This really is irritating to see every award season with almost every team in Denver is them getting overlooked by these national media members that don't know how to do their job properly. This is my biggest bone to pick. And this is probably something that's said in every small market. But Denver's one of the worst because it's not just that Denver is a quote unquote small market. It's not even really that small. Denver is still in the top third of markets. So this whole disrespect of Denver being a small market really irritates me, not just because I'm a Colorado native and I have a bias and I have a certain level of love and admiration for my state and my city that I live in. I chose this. This isn't just where I was born. I moved to Florida for 15 years. I could have stayed or I could have went anywhere else in the US. But this state is that great. And the fact that it's constantly disrespected and the franchises are good. I mean, outside of Coors Field. I know y'all probably tired of hearing me give that caveat, but I have to because they're just that much worse than the other three major franchises in this city. But to have a storied franchise that has a history of success, of domination, to get disrespected in this way is just a little bit too far for me. And that was sorry, I just had to check that. It was Callie. She just messaging me again to let me know that she will be here shortly. So there's a little update for y'all. But back to my rant about national media and their absolute disrespect of Denver and its teams. It is absolutely asinine at this point. This is no longer 1950 with those arcane TV rights deals and things that, yes, there are blackouts and all that other crap that drives people nuts because, again, cable is dead. It needs to continue to die. And the biases that it creates need to die. This is a world that everything is a big market. It's called the internet. There's one market now. I don't know why we are still talking about TV markets like they matter, like they did 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago. This drives me absolutely nuts. There's only one market now. It is the internet, the interwebs, as you boomers might want to call it. Let's get over ourselves, let go of 19th, 18th, or yeah, 19th century technology that was improved upon for over a century before it was finally replaced by what we have now, which is again the internet. So for everybody talking about, oh, you got to have the Yankees or you got to have the Knicks, or it's not that way anymore. We saw that last year with the NBA playoffs, where it was two small market teams that went in. And you know what? The ratings were just fine. They had record ratings yet again. Your market does not matter. It should not matter. And anybody that thinks it does is an idiot. I will say it again. I did not stutter. If you still think that TV markets run everything, you are a dumb dinosaur. Plain and simple. That's just what it is for every one of you. Every single media member, you don't get to come at me like I'm just some athlete that's sitting in front of a camera that doesn't know how this business works. I do. I have been going to school for it for the last 3 years. I still have another 2 years of schooling before I'm completely finished with what I want to do. Not with what I need to do, with what I want to do. So you don't get to come at me and talk to me about how this works or that doesn't. I know how it works. I also know what the trends are saying and where the trends are pointing. And every one of them is away from cable and onto the online environment where there are none of those stupid regulations of blackouts and things of that nature that help a team corner a market. That is no longer how it works. And so, for the fact of the matter being that Jared Bednar, Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, all these guys got snubbed out of at least being a finalist. I'm not saying that these guys are definite award winners. McKinnon should have been the MVP, plain and simple. Maybe a little bit debate between him and McCarr, but McKinnon should have been the MVP. He's not even a finalist. Bednar should have been the coach of the year. This man coached a team, again, storied franchise, multiple Stanley Cups, multiple Hall of Famers have come through here. And he took a team that scored more points in the regular season when it comes to the standings, not just with the matter of fact that he had the most dominant offense in Avalanche history. He had the most dominant team in Avalanche history. They scored more points in the standings than any other Avalanche team in their history. If that does not at least qualify you to be a finalist for Coach of the Year, the award is a joke. And it's doubly irritating for it to be NHL doing this. This is one thing that I was worried about with ESPN taking over the hockey world the way that they're trying to do, is that they have implicit bias. ESPN has an absolute implicit East Coast bias. Go and look at how every one of their people votes. Every single one of them votes for somebody on the East Coast. Almost every single time. In every award for every sport. It's disgusting. And this, I am sorry, I am a hockey head. I love hockey. This is why we're here talking about it. But this is the least popular sport in America when it comes to the Big Four. Hockey has nothing, absolutely nothing on any of the other three, and that includes baseball, sadly enough to say, when it comes to popularity. Everybody has heard the stories about how baseball is waning in popularity and the ratings are going down. Their ratings, the NHL would kill for baseball ratings. Like even regular season baseball ratings compared to their playoff hockey TV ratings. And yet they still think that they have the ability to sit here and completely ignore everyone in the Midwest. So that's my spiel on that. That's my spiel on Jared Bednar being snubbed. Absolutely. McKinnon snubbed. Absolutely. All of these things are a travesty to the legitimacy of these awards. Everything outside of the one of the Norris and the King's Trophy that have Kadri and Makar as finalists. I'm not saying that the Avalanche deserve a finalist in every award, but when you go and you look at the numbers and you look at what they were able to accomplish, especially with Bednar, like you want to make the argument that McKinnon was out of the lineup too much to be considered MVP. I'm cool with that. I can understand it, and I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to push back on it very much. But the fact that, I mean, Kadri gets no love outside of the King's Trophy. Makar gets no love. Makar should have been in the MVP conversation. If you wanted to eliminate McKinnon because of the amount of games he missed, fine. But you have got to replace him with Makar. It's just insane to see how much talent is on this squad. I mean, you got Valerie Nichushkin that's going to get paid this offseason because of all of the stars around him that are making him reach his peak. And yet, none of these guys get any love outside of Makar and not even really Kadri, because Kadri's award's not for on ice performance. It's for what he did within his community. It's a great award. I'm not knocking the award, but he deserves at least some recognition and a finalist for something. Like, I don't understand how none of these guys got any love. And I'm just checking. I'm getting blown. I want to make sure it's not Callie having some issues. Okay. So looks like she is getting a call. She just messaged me again. So it looks like she will not be in tonight. That's okay. We still got a little bit more for y'all. Might be a little bit shorter episode than normal. We just don't have extra talkers. So I apologize for that. But we will get through as much as we can here and give you as much Avalanche content as we can. So next up, we are going to talk about who is in, who is out tonight. Bear with me just a moment here while I get the lineups. And I see some of my folks have retweeted this. I appreciate y'all. Sorry, bear with me a moment here. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long 24 hours. While I'm doing this, I guess I'll talk to y'all a bit while I'm doing this. Yesterday was crazy. I ended up having to send my sister to the hospital in an ambulance that has a heart condition. That's why everything's a bit jumbled. My co-hosts are all doing the rundowns and things. Callie obviously is not here, so I'm kind of scrambling. I apologize to y'all, but I promise I'll get you as great as content as I can. Here, I'm just trying to get the lineups pulled up here. All right, I think I finally got them here. All right, yes, here we go. So everybody's in. No injuries outside of Gerard had a bit of an issue from the celebration the other night. I'd never seen a man get so high off the ice on skates and not break something. It doesn't seem like he broke anything, but he definitely sprained or pulled something. I hate how vague NHL injuries are. It's like upper body, lower body. But it looks like he will be okay. I don't see him in the starting lineups tonight. Looks like he will be out tonight. Or no, it looks like the only one out is Murray. Trying to see if I see. Okay, looks like Gerard is in. Last minute, he was able to pull through. Looks like he will be in. Let's see what line they have. Looks like he's going to be probably the second or third line coming in. First line is Valerie Nichushkin, as always, with Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. And you got Gabe Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, and Arturi Lekkinen on the second line. Third line is Andre Burakovsky, JT Compher, and Nicholas Abe Kubel. Sorry, did mess that up. My bad, my guy. Fourth line is going to be Andrew Cogliano, Nico Sturm, and Darren Helm. The defensive pairings, first defensive pairing, as always, is Devon Taves and Cale Makar going with that first line. Then you have Sam Girard and Josh Manson is on. So Sam Girard is on the second line defensive pairing as usual. So it looks like he's going to be a full go tonight. Let's hope that ankle or leg or whatever it was he jacked up when that boy touched the sky isn't going to hold him back. Then you have Bo Byram and EJ Eric Johnson on the third line there. Then you have first power play unit is going to be the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, Mikko Rantanen, Nathan McKinnon, and Cale Makar. Best power play unit in the game. Second power play unit is going to be Valerie Nichushkin, Arturi Lekkinen, Andre Burakovsky, Devon Taves, and Sam Girard. So as you see, Girard is a full go tonight. First penalty kill unit is going to be JT Compher, Logan O'Connor, Devon Taves, and Cale Makar. One of the best penalty kill units in the league as well. Second penalty kill unit is Nico Sturm, Valerie Nichushkin, Eric Johnson, and Josh Manson, who was the hero of game one. And then the goalies, starters Darcy Kemper with Pavel Francouz backing up. And then again, the only injury being Ryan Murray, who is out tonight. So Jared Bednar has his full lineup at his disposal. Should be another great game. The last one, dude, Bennington was insane. It was absolutely insane to watch that man just stop puck after puck. He had 51 saves. And that doesn't include the 5 pucks that hit the post. So the Avalanche had a bit of an unlucky game, but this is the thing about this team. They don't give in. Unlike the previous years where a game like game 1, the Avalanche would have lost last year. We would have been looking at an 0-1 deficit if this was a year ago. But with how resilient this team is, they just never let off the gas. Yes, Binnington stopped 51 shots. You are not going to see a performance like that again this series, let alone this playoffs or anything else outside of that. Binnington had the game of his life, and it wasn't enough. Think about how demoralizing that is. Think back to that EJ save where he had a wide open net, but somehow Binnington was able to get that glove on it. And I mean, that happened like 3 or 4 times in that game. It is not going to continue. I'm sorry, it just can't. The laws of average are against it. Bennington has to come back to earth. He's a great goalie. I'm not saying that he is not capable of doing that type of a performance night in and night out, but it's just very unlikely. I mean, unless he just ends up having the series of a lifetime. But again, that's why it's called the series of a lifetime or the playoffs of a lifetime. It just doesn't happen like that. You just don't see the puck like that. And you saw it on the game winner for Manson. The Avs were finally able to get enough people in the way to block his vision, and it was just able to sneak through the bodies. Bennington never saw it once it left the stick, he never saw it again until it was in the net and he looked behind him. That is what you have to do for this guy. There's got to be bodies around the net. They have got to block his vision. If he's got a clear path to see where the puck is coming from, he's going to stop it. It's just going to happen. He's just that good of a goalie. But the fact that the Avalanche were able to get 54 shots in is insane. Like, they got 54 shots in and barely scored 3 goals when there was another game that had half the shots and 24 goals. Like, it was insane what the Avalanche were able to do, not only on offense, but defense. And this is something I really harped on in our last episode last week when I told you, I was like, the biggest thing y'all need to watch is the defense of this team. The offense is going to score points. They're going to put up fireworks. They're going to make it interesting. But watch the dirty work. Watch the blocked shots. Watch the poke checks. Watch the speed of these defenders. When even if they get caught out of position and it seems like their guy has a step on them, they are almost always able to catch up. This defense is the key to everything for this Avalanche team. I pointed out last week when I pointed out the fact that they had 5 of 12 periods against the Nashville Predators where they allowed single-digit shots on goal. Not shots made, not shots in the area. Single-digit shots on goal in almost half the periods against the Predators. And then they did it again in 1/3 of the period so far. They've held those St. Louis Blues to single-digit shots on goal. Darcy Kemper and Pavel Francouz have got to have the easiest job in all of hockey sitting in net for that Colorado Avalanche. They rarely see more than 30 shots. In the series last week, the first round series, neither Kemper nor Francouz ever saw more than 31 shots. That was the most shots on goal that Nashville got. And the Blues got, let me pull it up here real quick. And sorry, guys. Trying to work from a wing. Avalanche Blues. There we go. Let's see. They got a total of 25 shots. I was going to say, I knew it was less than 30, but I wanted to get the exact amount. 25 shots. So that means through 5 games, the most shots either goalie for Denver has seen is 31 shots. The Avs had 20 more than that just in game 1 against the Blues. And that's not even the most shots on goal. They had over 60 shots on goal against the Predators in the game they won 7-1 or 7-2, my bad. So, this team is going to get their shots on goal. Bennington is not going to be able to stop as many. The Avalanche are not going to hit 5 posts again. There's at least not without one going in. That's just not going to happen. The Avs were off just a titch. That maybe that little extra layoff had them come out a little bit slow, but I think that game 1's going to have the same effect that game 2 had in Nashville, the one where the Avalanche barely squeaked out a 2-1 victory. Excuse me, and Ingram stood on his head. That was the Nashville's one great performance where they could have stolen one. The Blues probably blew the only chance they had this series at stealing one in Ball Arena. I'm not going to say anything about them being at home because road hockey, just like any other sport, you go on the road, crazy things happen. So I'm not just going to sit here and say this is going to be another sweep, but there's no way that the Blues are going to win in Ball Arena. They might go, the Avs might go into their barn and have some issues and maybe lose a game or two, but the Avs are not losing on home ice. That game 1 was a wake-up call for them. They know what they need to do, and this team is great at adjustments. And that has everything to do with who should be the coach of the year, Jared Bednar, and the way he is able to mix and match this lineup to maximize their potential on any given night. So, full roster. They got their wake-up call in game 1. They almost lost it. They almost let it get away. But again, the Avalanche just found a way. That's the difference with this team. Before this season, they would always find a way to lose. This year, they're finding ways to win, and they're winning in all types of ways. Whether it's scoring 7+ goals or only giving up 2 and squeaking out an overtime victory after the opponent's goalie has the game of his life or at least of the season, and you still win. That confidence boost to know that you can see the other team's absolute best. And the Avs got the absolute best of the St. Louis Blues in game 1. St. Louis did not come to play. They came to win. It's just unfortunately for St. Louis Blues and their fans, they're just not good enough to take on this Avalanche squad. This squad is legit, and everybody in Mile High Hockey needs to get on this bandwagon because it's going to be a very, very fun ride, and it's not ending nowhere near as quickly as it has the last 3 years. So that is who is in, out, what's going to go on. So now I will go ahead and give you my prediction. My prediction for tonight is perfect timing. My prediction for tonight is, again, the Avalanche will win. It will be a more comfortable win, but there will still be some scares. The Blues will stick in. It's not going to be a blowout. I see this game ending 5-3 Avalanche win in regulation, obviously, because they're 2 goals ahead. And I think it will end with an empty netter to seal it at 5-3. That's how close it will be. But it's going to be one of those games where the score makes it look closer than what it really is. The Avalanche will dominate, the Blues will retaliate, and then the Avalanche will dominate and end it in the 3rd period with an empty net goal. That's my hot take for today and for your Avalanche. Again, I'm sorry Callie wasn't able to get here today. EMS God smited us, so it is what it is. We'll try again next week, so make sure you come back here to the Answers 42 Media Network. Come and check us out every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. with Callie as much as possible. We'll be here to my left. We do appreciate y'all understanding and working with us. Things will calm down once she gets out of her internship, but right now, things are a bit hectic. We understand. We love her. We appreciate her. And we'll be looking forward to hopefully getting her back again here next week. So for the Answers 42 Media Network, I'm Dan Wetstein. This is Sasquatch Says. Stay tuned. We will be back in exactly an hour from now with Breaking Broncos. We got 3 lives tonight. So make sure y'all stick around. We're not going anywhere quickly. We're going to be here all night. We got Breaking Broncos at 6:30. Excuse me. And then we have from 6:30 to 7:30. And then we'll have West is Best with Quinn. And obviously Breaking Broncos with Dylan. 6:30 to 7:30. And then Quinn and I will jump on somewhere around 8 o'clock. We're dealing with his work schedule. So I will have some notifications up here shortly once we have a definitive time. But it'll be somewhere around 8 o'clock, maybe somewhere between 8 and 8:30. I'll give you all that for West is Best with Quinn tonight. So we're going to be covering everything. We just got done with hockey. We got football coming up. And then we all know with West is Best, we're covering all of the biggest headlines from the 3 biggest sports: football, baseball, basketball. So if y'all need a sports fix, it's here tonight. Avalanche play in 3 hours, or 2.5 hours, technically. So make sure y'all check that out. Again, prediction 5-3. Avalanche win with an empty netter in the third quarter to seal it, 5-3. So that is us here. That's what we have for hockey. Again, I am Dan Wetstein for the Answers 42. Don't question the blue.